has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the market, and it's looking really great right now. This week is off to a green start for Bitcoin once again. We are at 109,726 at this very moment, and we are moving very fast also on the adoption rate of companies, of institutions, of sovereigns, of nation states in this world, and we're going to go a little bit deeper in what's happening in that realm in this episode. So make sure to stay tuned all the way through. So, good morning to each and every one of you. May I kindly ask you to hit the like button, smash the like button here, as we are dropping directly in the charts today. And we are seeing Bitcoin at 109,726. We are off to a really good start. This is the weekly, and you see how the weekly is directly continuing the trajectory of before, moving up. Very likely we are going to challenge and potentially break the all-time high this week once again, as the bullish news are piling up and many other factors are playing together here in a bullish way. This might be just the beginning of a major move all the way up to 135,000 for Bitcoin. But let's check this out very quickly. Though I want to see go to the chat here and see our rare hodlers here. So Adam is there already. How are you doing, my man? And also welcome each and every one of you guys. So let's see here. Chris Klein, good morning, sir. I need to rebuy my membership. Funds are a bit low right now, losing my job and all, but I will rebuy when I can. Oh man, that is not good news, man. But there should be, like, I hope you have the next job lined up already, and no worries, man. Relax, right? I mean, there are more important things than the patient hodler, rare hodler membership, right? So it's all good. Let's see. Hopefully crypto will bring you some relief with a big fat green pump. G Money, what is going on? Good morning to you. Let's have a coffee all together. And Chris, man, drop in the rare hodler group, in the Telegram group, if there's any way we can help you. Then let us know. I mean, we are a community all together. So if there's anything that we can do, I mean, resume template, I don't know what the heck people need, right? Then let's help each other there. Why is Alex Becker in a Hyros video? Of no idea, man. No idea what he is doing. So it seems that Michael Saylor is going to buy more Bitcoin, as he posted. I only buy Bitcoin with money I can't afford to lose. I don't know if that's true, actually. It's probably a joke. But almost every week Saylor is buying. And when he's posting this chart, then he is going to put another orange dot on that. The true thing though is, if we're looking at on-chain metrics, then we see that addresses that have more than 100 Bitcoin are piling up and are increasing. So we have a lot of addresses passing this mark and are actually calling up. And that is something that is unique and different to this bull run, because as this is happening, the exchange, or the percent of the Bitcoin balance is dropping off, right? So you see it here in the very end. We see the Bitcoin balance dropping down, whereas the price of Bitcoin is going up. And usually that is not the case. Usually the balance on the exchanges is going up into a bull market. Well, actually here we see it also dropping off in this parabolic decline. But then here it's coming back again. So, well, maybe we are just in the middle of this move, which would be awesome, right? I mean, also here we see a drop off, but then it increases. So the question is, will this turn around at some point and people are more likely to sell and move their stuff to exchanges again? Which price do you have to have for that to happen, right? That is the big question. But overall, this is really, really bullish. And looking at supply shock, right? What plays into that is obviously that we now have basically New Hampshire and Arizona enacted the Bitcoin reserve for the states, but there are also other states that are moving to that. By the way, I have no idea why these are, why it looks here as these are the same. I don't know if there are other states that are called like this. But Texas is moving to it, North Carolina is moving to it, and, well, whatever AL is. AL, what is AL? You guys know it in the chat what AL is. Hey, Domvu, what's going on? AL, man, Alabama? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so what's really, really crazy is this here. I saw this yesterday. And I wanted to share it, or I want to share it with you, because listen to this, like Qatar is going full degen crypto mode. They are going to tokenize their real estate. They are going to tokenize other industries, their financial industries. They are going to tokenize the energy sector. So listen to this. This is crazy.
The first asset class that we would like to address is real estate. There's a lot of you have been around Doha in the past 2 days. There's a lot of real estate oversupply in the market, but it also solves a significant problem where there's not enough access into this asset class. If you look at a lot of the towers in West Bay or in Lusail or in any other area in Qatar, a lot of the towers are owned by 1 or 2 or maximum 3 landlords. And these are significant ticket sizes. You're talking about a minimum of $500 million upwards. So, tokenizing a tower or 2, I think would do great good for the economy and, a lot more access and liquidity to the real estate market. But that's one asset class. I'd like to see as well, Islamic financial products securitized through our corporate registration, bond issuances securitized, perhaps energy infrastructure in the near future. But what I'm saying is, through our laboratory, I would say, which is our corporate registration, we can experiment.
And this quickly here, right? This is really insane. So if we recap quickly the first part, he says they have half a billion value in these towers, and what I think the main point here is that he says there's not enough liquidity in the market. So they intend to make the market more liquid by tokenizing it, make it more accessible cross-border to purchase real estate in Qatar, right? So, and I think this is going to go or be a trend anyways. So how can you make the real estate market in general more liquid, right? You can just tokenize it, and then people everywhere in the world can just buy and invest in real estate in certain markets, or maybe in all markets in the future, so that it is easier for people to invest than it is right now. Right now, it's probably very, very problematic to for me here to purchase a real estate or part of real estate in Qatar, right? So yeah, I think that's very, very interesting.
without spreading the risk all over the rest of the economy. It'll be a contained environment. If anything goes wrong, then that would be contained within the Qatar Financial Center environment, and the risk would be managed efficiently. A lot of assets, I think. We're going to start with real estate, and then we're going to start with financial products as well.
Do you see this as a way to attract foreign investment? You mentioned especially real estate, potentially.
Well, foreign direct investment is one of our objectives. I think what we'd want to see is some local investments in these asset classes to start with, but I think it will definitely give access to a bigger pool of foreign investors tapping into our economy, and then hopefully you'd have some cross-border transactions as well. On harmonization, I think that's a great idea. If we can, I think, if there was any harmonization to happen within the digital asset space, I think the best bet is that it would happen between financial centers, because we're a lot more efficient and swift in terms of amending regulations. I mean, it takes us less than 3 months to set up a financial services regulation and then get public consultation on it and then enact it. So we're pretty swift, and I think the same applies in DIFC and ADGM. So I think between those 3 financial centers, if we can come to a common arrangement where, digital assets and certain financial services products can passport into each other, I think that could definitely be achieved rather than a larger passporting mechanism for the entire GCC, which could happen, but I think we're still far away from that.
So very, very interesting, the move that Qatar does here, and we hear on a side note that it's not only going to be real estate, but also the bond market, treasury, whatever, financial market, energy sector. Very, very interesting stuff. Here on the Qatar Economic Forum, right? They have their own economic forum. They don't have to go to Switzerland. They do it on their own. But that is very, very interesting. And then at the same time, you look at this, and the news are just piling in of the stuff. Like Pakistan allocates 2,000 megawatt capacity to power Bitcoin mining. Right, so each nation has their own approach to getting into Bitcoin. Some are doing it through directing energy and just mine the Bitcoin. Others are doing it through direct purchases or allocating whatever parts of the funds into Bitcoin. But the adoption, the mass adoption, is happening, and it's going really nuts. And it's also confirmed by the new I say it's like 1 year, more than 1 year or so, that this guy is CEO instead of CZ. But yeah, listen to this as well. It's only 30 seconds, and basically Binance is confirming all that sovereign shift.
At 100 million users, but a lot of them are coming through as institutions, right? So yeah, the sovereigns, the semi-sovereigns, the family offices, the high net worth individuals, the allocators, the funds, people that just trade commodities, FX, stocks and bonds in the past are now adding a crypto trading desk, right? So we see a lot. So last year, in terms of institutional investors, we added, new onboarding of 97%. This year, in the first quarter, the momentum is very, very strong.
Basically doubled from that side.
At 100 million users.
So we see sovereigns, semi-sovereigns, he says, right? Everyone is aping into crypto. This was also on token 249. So there are a lot of things, and the next one that I have for you here, and also the last video snippet here, is basically the US about stable coins, and that one got me really interested. This is very, very interesting, because I thought that actually that would be more like, hey, let's ban this shit, right? But let's see.
Dollars in order to match against it, or even for treasuries?
Well, we are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed it offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets, especially stable coins. And I've seen estimates that just over the short term, stable coins could create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. treasuries and treasury bills. To put that in context, the number is probably about $300 billion right now.
If really we went big into stablecoin in this country, what effect could that have on the strength of the dollar? Because people might have to hold dollars in order to match against it, or even for treasuries.
Well, we are going big on.
Okay, so basically, I really like the sentence here. We are going big on digital assets, but what we can see from all of these videos is, right, all those countries, and there are more countries, but all those countries, they are doing basically three things. They are adopting it from a government perspective, either through mining or through strategic reserves or through whatever, like holding it in what they have seized in a reserve. But secondly, they are paving the way in legislation terms for the industry to develop and thrive in their countries, right? So, which the US didn't do before, but now they are doing it. So basically, Scott Bessent is emphasizing this here right now, that they are going to do that. I mean, we have seen, if you compare right now, where everything's possible in that sense, to the past 4 years, let's just remember, I mean, we only have a couple of months where this is what's being said. Before that, 1.5 years ago, we weren't even sure if they would allow from the SEC a Bitcoin ETF, right? So let alone an Ethereum ETF. We had years of discussion if that's even possible, or if they are going to finally allow it, right? You remember all the streams and videos where we talked about the Hinman speech and how the Hinman speech basically lays precedent for saying, hey, look, Bitcoin is a commodity. We weren't sure, right? Now, and also basically Gary Gensler coming out every week and saying, hey, the altcoins, they're securities and we're going after them and blah blah, and lawsuit this and that, and they is a listing of unregistered securities, going after exchanges, going after altcoins. All these things they are over, right? You don't hear it anymore. You don't hear anything like that. Instead, you're yes, we are big on digital assets. We're embracing the community. The president has his own meme coin. Basically, the exchanges are custodians for the ETFs, and so on, right? So a lot of things are moving in a really, really great direction, and this is why I cannot understand the bearishness that prevails in the space, just because of like some macroeconomic factors that are not the purest right now. Yeah, but I think I guess it's part of an ongoing bull run, that people are not yet in the euphoria stage where they should be, and then they are going in the euphoria stage when they shouldn't be. So I guess that's just part of the game. What is, though, really reflecting this is the funding rates, right? The funding rates are still nowhere near previous all-time highs, like in this cycle, right? So in the previous parts of this cycle, when we hit an all-time high and went into a massive consolidation, the funding rates, as you see here and here, have spiked massively, right? And that's just not the case. Instead, we are basically negative or slightly positive funding rates at the moment, which is crazy, right? It reflects a little bit this weird off sentiment where people are just not so sure about Bitcoin, with Bitcoin sitting at 109K, right? Oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is actually on the thumbnail. This is tying into the last topic here, basically. And we have the American Bitcoin businesses map, right? And look at that here. So how they are coming in over time, right here. You see the year down here, 2025. So starting over again right now. So it's really going more and more. And then with 2024, you have really a lot of them, right? So it's just the beginning, I bet, because if you look at all the businesses that are not in Bitcoin, it would be like the map wouldn't even be visible, right? So we have exactly that, as we said before. Let's recap that. We have individual investors, rich individuals, institutions, businesses, semi-sovereign and sovereigns that are moving into Bitcoin all at the same time, because they now know, okay, fuck, it's possible, let's do it, right? And I think there is a window of 4 to 8 years where you are where you are still in an early adopter in the business space, and then someday, like I'd say you probably during the next 8 years also an early adopter in the retail, like in the retail user space. But then this window closes, I guess. I'd say we have in the next 2 cycles probably most people will have somewhat exposure to crypto, because 8 years also technology wise is just going to be so much, right? I'd say the more businesses adopt Bitcoin, the more it's okay for the normal user also to do it, like the retail user that is not in it, because they see, oh, my company is buying Bitcoin, then it's okay for me too, right? I think this mindset will shift quickly. I don't know how long the mindset will remain that Bitcoin is something ugly, dirty, or just not understandable for people, to when it is like everyone has some Bitcoin, right? And hey, look at my returns. But I think also this cycle, people that are entering significantly above 100K will probably get wrecked again by another bear market. And I think also like this volatility, as long as it's somehow there, will always scare off people and then attract people in waves. And I think these waves will just diminish over time. But I think this diminishing returns will be way more subtle than so I mean the swings will still be extreme, more than some people will think. So I think that is that is clear. So regarding those swings, I mean, we see it here: 2012, 16, and 20 bull markets. The beginnings are always a little bit different. Right here, 2016, which is the bear market of reference, we have 2 big spikes and retest, and then the massive blow of top phase is increasing. We have it in a similar way here, I would say. 2 big spikes and then the pump, right, will probably come. And then we have those 2 markets, 12 and 20, where you basically have you're coming out of your bear market, and then you have one long fat consolidation phase before you lift off. I don't know if that has also to do with the way that global liquidity expands, but if you compare it here, it's a little bit similar, right? One to come out of the bear market, one fat consolidation, and then the pump. So it looks like we do this scheme, and then we do another, and then we do this scheme, and now we're doing this one again, right? So we'll see how this market develops. But that would also mean that this massive pump is still in front of us. Where does it go? Well, probably at least to 130 to 140, somewhere in this area. According to this chart, somewhere up there in the 180s. According to some people, including Arthur Hayes and others, we go way beyond that scale, right? But we will see. There are people that are calling for 200K. There are people who are calling for 500K, and there are even people now that are calling for 1 million. Usually, the truth lies somewhere in the middle of all the predictions, and I'd like to stay at the most conservative end and just go with my prediction, which is 135K, and then we'll see, right? I'd like to be very, very wrong, and that Bitcoin goes to 250K or so, but last cycle everyone was agreeing that the top probably should be at 150K, as stock to flow and so on predicted that, and we ended up at 69K. Okay, so half of that. So if the predictions are 250K, then, well, half of that is 125K, and 135K therefore is not that conservative. As you all know, that we are a big believer in in the signs of global liquidity showing the way, which global liquidity successfully predicted the weekend dip here, where we should be now done with. We went to all the way to 107k. We are now back at 109k or so. So I think that then the next couple of weeks should be very explosive to the upside. And look at that. Right now, global liquidity predicts the way to 135k. So maybe that is it, right? Maybe not. We will see. Maybe there's way more coming. But right now, let's. By the way, Adam says things are moving along smoothly. I agree. Green Lantern says GM boys late to the party. No problem. The party is going on. Let us quickly take a look at Bitcoin dominance and also to altcoins, right? I'm not entirely convinced yet that Bitcoin dominance has topped out. I was convinced before, you guys know that. I have no problem with discussing that on my channel. Not sure where Bitcoin dominance is going to top out, and then altcoins will fly. Everything that is performing out of altcoins right now is nothing compared to what will happen once this decreases. We see the altcoins reacting green on the day. We see the market is led right now by Hype, Hyperliquid, Virtual, and Jupiter, but also other coins are slightly in the green, 4 to 5%. Really, really good. Also, yeah, average, I'd say, as we see it here, 2%. We see also ZBC and moving hard with 26% today. AI 16Z is moving at 11.3%, and some other coins in the realm of 6 to 9%. Ronin, Brett 8%, Toshi 8%, and so on. So meme coins still showing some strength here, but other coins are also moving. If you go to the weekly, it's a little bit more like dog on Bitcoin, 57% on the weekly. So it always takes the last 7 days or so into consideration. You see a Mu 27%. On the month also, I mean, you see like a Mudang 518%, KTA 490%. So there are coins that right now at the moment do 4 to 5x's, right? There are some coins, but it's not every coin. It's not everywhere. Not really an altcoin season. It's just the same as we saw before, that randomly coins are exploding, doing returns, and then they are slowly coming back. And I think that all these coins, they will do extremely well. We see the weekly on about 7% average, right? Fartcoin also 20%. I mean, what the heck? Like, this thing has 1.5 billion market cap and it's just not stopping. Very, very interesting stuff. So let's check this out. The Hyperliquid here on TradingView. Yeah, you see this coin is not. It launched, it fell all the way down, and now it's coming back strongly. But it's already pumping since 7 weeks. So we will see where this goes. Maybe there is other charts with more history. Hype. USDT, this is the KuCoin chart. Yeah, Gate.io has a little bit more chart history here, not much more. Yeah. Anyways, let's go to our altcoin spotlight. And one thing that we have to discuss is this here. Because DeFi is going to be one of the future applications. It's going to be a disruptive technology, but it's still not safe, right? So how safe is your go-to DeFi site? Curve Finance was hit by a DNS hijack, redirecting users to a wallet draining scam, right? So I'd say be very, very careful out there right now until these things get also, let's say, more mainstream, right? What can you do with DeFi? A lot of different things. Part of it definitely is lending. But if you have to deposit your crypto to get a loan, and you deposit it to the wrong address and you don't get a loan, then you're screwed, right? So it needs to be very, very, like, I think it's still so much in its infancy. Yeah, we will see. Hey, it's just me, what's going on? Saying, hi, patient toddler GM, have you given up on OMI or still OMI lever? We are talking OMI every day basically here. It's just coming more to the end before I'm looking at some other altcoins. But no, I have not given up on OMI. I think there's no reason to give up on it just yet. So let's look quickly at Ethereum, just because I have it on Spotlight. There's not much to see here. I think that Ethereum is going to recover compared to where other altcoins are. Just because the Ethereum FUD is probably over. Institutions are big on Ethereum. That will not change that fast. We have kind of this going on here. We are very likely going all the way back to 3.5K. Then it will be difficult to break through, and then we are going to pump out or go retest and then pump out, right? But I think Ethereum 7-8K is absolutely in the realm of possibilities. Maybe 9K going to just test 10K but not coming through 10K. I think that's probably fair, right? I'm going to sell my Ethereum if it goes to 7-8K ish. I'm going to sell Ethereum just to be transparent here as well. Metacade, one of my favorite coins, also in Spotlight here. Why? Because in comparison to other coins, this thing is in some violent accumulation, and we see the range is basically from here to here, and we are just somewhere across the middle, right? And I think this is just the beginning. And if you look up Mcade on the market caps and so on, it's placed 647. It only has 34 million market cap. Let's say 35 million, because that's very close to 35. Why am I bullish? Because the circulating supply is really like looking good. The project is playing the gaming vertical, gaming infrastructure vertical, and for that to, I mean, a 10x to 340 million would be reasonable even in this market. And if you consider that the entire market is growing and that in the top 100, in the top 50 last cycle, the lowest coin I think was like about 8 billion. I could even see that going to 3.4 billion, which would be a 100x, right, from where we are right now. And probably if we go lower than this or so, like I could see 100x out of this. But don't let's just say don't fix me on that or something. Is not financial advice. This can go to shit, this can go to zero, they can go bankrupt or whatever, right? And you lose all your money. However, I think the market cap is small enough and the project is good enough and the community is big enough to pump this thing into oblivion, right? And as you see here, we have not been, like, we are in accumulation, and look at that, look at the volume. I mean, what the heck? So I would say this, once this breaks out and altcoins are flying, this goes completely nuts, right? So 100x sounds fine, yes, but listen, if this does, like, if we go, I don't know, do some X's here, I'm already going to take everything of my initial investment. I already took it once, I invested more, but this flies, I'll take my initial investment plus some profit, and then I let the rest ride out until I feel the alt season is coming to an end. And then I'm going to hit the sell everything button hopefully fast enough, right? So just so you're aware. Let's talk OMI. Okay, so OMI has an interesting thing going on, because also for OMI we see volume, right? More than before, and we see there we go. And we saw this buying coming in. We see it's going a little bit more green here. However, we need to be careful, because even if this is already on a weekly scale and we are still in this wedge threatening to fall out, we've seen stuff like this before, right? So here we see it. Even if it pumps, we really need to pump out of this wedge and stay out of this wedge. We really need a macro bottom, right? Because here, for example, it looked like a double bottom or so, and it didn't come out of the wedge. So I want to see way more than this. Or here, for example, right, this looked like a bottom. Or if you even consider the entire base that has been forming here, like we had I think it was like a 500-day base forming in here, where I'd say, hey, you should have formed a bottom here, right? And we did not. Still, because you have asked, it's just me, I still believe that Ecomi can do well. And for sure, a coin like Ecomi, let's see the market cap right now. I mean, it's more than Metacade. Ecomi's placed 470 with little liquidity. Sorry, let's put it here again, because I wanted to, there we go. Yeah, it has $64.5 million market cap. So I don't see why Ecomi shouldn't be able to do a 10 or 20x in the next, in that run, right? But, and way more is possible. Way more is absolutely possible. But I think something needs to be happening, right? I mean, we need news, we need roadmap, we need we need it more moved as a centerpiece to the brands, and like from a VeVe communication standpoint, right? We need things happening, right? We need whatever, like staking, and so on. Maybe Stacker can implement that in their wallet, that they can offer staking or so, I don't know, right? But that needs to happen. It needs to be somehow, it needs to get back in the hype train. Probably you need to get some influencers talking about OMI, because they've just stopped talking about OMI because the money flow has stopped, right? Hey, I mean, they could pay me to talk about it, but they don't, right? So, yeah, I'm talking about it without payment. That's basically it. But doesn't matter. I think what you want to see is that at some point this breaks out and it just goes on the rise, and then it corrects, and then it somehow forms a big fat macro inverse head and shoulders or something like that. It cannot be that far, or it cannot look like this, because if it does, you would be only here in October 25, right? So we need to pump harder and faster and more steep than that, right? And if you form a shoulder here, you're in the next year. I mean, if altcoin season is then only in January 26, which could happen, then that's fine, right? But I think that's something that we need to consider. Also, I mean, here's a good list of what we still want and need, and what we already have, right? We have OMI to NFT in Burns and Stacker. The mobile works okay-ish now, but it needs to be better for people to get excited. The 30% Apple fee is removed. That's what we have. The lawsuit is over, and the appeal, I think the appeal time is over. I think the appeal time is over. I'm not 100% sure, but I think, right? Then what we need, right? Stacker needs to show the gem levels as well, so you can compare and play the arbitrage, which will invite more players into the space. You need an offer function, at least on Stacker, to be able to scan someone else's collection and make them a proactive offer, which will incentivize more trades. You need a roadmap for the Ecomi token, right? For VeVe and the Ecomi token. You need US exchanges. You need a Web3 approach, an approach that basically shields Stacker and the token so that you can go in and out of VeVe collectibles via Web3 alone, right? So you, through Stacker, hey, convert into OMI, buy the NFT, sell for OMI, convert back to another crypto, right? That's how you make it usable. Influencers, OMI and VeVeverse, and most importantly, solve the in-app issues. I don't care about a mobile app for VeVeverse. They have to solve the mobile app that they have right now and make, I think, like the challenges is a really, really good approach, but they need to give out more and better rewards, right, for challenges. So for example, I think challenges should not be only airdrop of collectibles. There should be gems attached to the challenges. Like for example, place 1,000 gems, right? Place 2 to 20, 100 gems, something like that, right? Plus these milestones that the community gets. So if I understand it correctly, the more people take part in the challenge, the more they will open up collectible airdrops for more users in the tops, right? It's just me, says Patient Hodler, you are right. Liquidity is terrible, and in my opinion, the price action cannot be trusted at the moment. And what makes it worse is the team concentrating on VeVe, not OMI. VeVe puts a face on crypto. Yeah. So yes, the price action cannot be trusted, and that is because if you look at this price action, there was never a pump without a subsequent mega dump, except here where we moved sideways for a long time on a high level, right? So this phase was the bull market, and then we only had bear market, right? So we had this, then yeah, this pump, and this bigger pump. These are the only bigger pumps in all of the history of Ecomi, and they were all sold into by whales very, very quickly, right? So yes, the price action cannot be trusted until it's basically clear that the big sellers are gone, right? And we see it here, right? It got faster. It didn't hold up even a week on the price level. It's just it goes up and it gets sold into right away, so that you only have wicks all the way down here. How far can this go? I have no clue. I would say the moment that altcoin season sparks, also OMI will do well, because OMI, since there's so little liquidity and so on, the moment that some people are buying, this thing will pump hard and quick and fast, and then probably it will attract other people again, right? But really the team and everyone else has to play into this, right? Somehow with news, with liquidity, with exchanges and so on, right? That meaning liquidity. I think that has to happen. One thing that is really good, and maybe we can add this here, is that that it is OMI on base. That can help, because base will probably help a lot of, like, everything that's on base will probably do very, very well, as long as there is a nice project behind it, right? So people will go for also Metacade. I think Mcade has also moved to base, right? So it has migrated to base. That is one of the projects where it's really, really good, right? So yeah, base projects, I think they will do extremely well. Looking at VeVe though, and this is a good side, the user numbers are still increasing. We have less fluctuation, it's just going up bit by bit. I mean, if you look May 23rd to now, May 25th, we have 8 more users that are operating on VeVe, which is a small increase, but it's an increase. Let's quickly refresh the site so that we get the actuals in the market. So we see comics are being minted. Star Wars stuff is bought and sold, right? Also, some people minting this art drop there, right? People are minting from everywhere, from the VeVe comics, from the shop. So there are some sales going on here past 20-30 minutes. People are buying and selling, which is good, right? You see a lot more action than you see in other marketplaces, but also the prices are fairly low, right? To keep it real. It's just me says, OMI at the moment can be used as an alternative in the VeVe app and the VeVeverse, rather than giving it some utility which will drive the customers to utilize OMI rather than gems or dollars. I don't fully understand what you're trying to say. OMI at the moment can be used as an alternative in the VeVe app. Oh yeah, so yeah, it could be. So the problem is with OMI as the sole currency, if you mean that, I think it should be an addition. You can either or everywhere, even in the original app, use OMI, right? Which they won't do, I think. But the problem is like the retail user is likely to use gems instead of dollars or instead of OMI. Cryptocurrency is difficult for many retail people. Gems are a very good approach for people to have people spend way more money that they want to, because gems instead of dollars, for example, is just basically taking away the meaning of money, right? So it's just gems, and then it's way easier for people to buy things if it's gems, right? That's the reason why there are gems. They would destroy their marketplace if they only use Ecomi right now. I also would not like that. What I would like, or would have liked, is that you can use OMI in the app everywhere, which is possible now since the Apple incorporate crypto in the app is possible now since this Apple ruling that Apple has to take away the 30% fee and allow whatever payment methods and so on for the apps to go into App Store. So many apps can incorporate direct turn of crypto right now. So technically the original model for OMI being burned and so on would be possible now for the VeVe app. I don't know if they can go and do it again, right? I don't know. But maybe they could come out and say, hey, look, everything's clear now, US regulation, Apple Store ruling, whatever. We go back to our old tokenomics. And then probably that would be crazy, right? The team should give customers benefits if they utilize OMI rather than gems, like for example drops which only can be bought with OMI. Yeah, I agree. I like that very much. Like things that can only be bought with that. I really like that a lot. Here is a comment I liked also about airdrops, and I really think they should consider this even from a business perspective, right? So right now they're announcing an airdrops. Are you a true Ultraman fan? Hold both Ultraman Volume 1, Volume 2 in your VeVe collection between June 3 and so on, and score an exclusive Ultraman digital airdrop. They should not do that anymore. Because, so here, in my opinion, these airdrops shouldn't be announced. True collectors of Ultraman already have them in their collection. By announcing an airdrop, VeVe invites others to join and attempt to profit at the expense of genuine collectors. By the way, I own 0 Ultraman collectibles. So I'm going to even retweet that because I fully agree. So let's say I really love the Mandalorian stuff, right? So I'm going, if I see, hey, the Ultraman people, they just got an airdrop and there are only 100 serious Ultraman collectors, so now this thing is extremely scarce. because no one else completed the set. So I, as a fan, I'm going to complete my sets as fast as possible because I cannot know when and where the airdrop will hit, right? So that would make people automatically participate in the drops of stuff they like and collect, complete their sets and hold it, contribute to higher prices on these airdrop items. They are going to be very scarce. For example, Blackpink. Let's say there are a couple of Blackpink people, right? But the community is very small. So they're going to complete the Blackpink set and they get the airdrop. And now they have something really, really scarce and valuable. So they are going to show it to their friends and invite more people into the app, right? And with comics as sets, same thing, right? There's a comic edition that you like. Maybe you get an exclusive, whatever, 6th cover or so for that comic. The airdrop hits without any announcement. That means every comic collector has to do it. Just guessing. Maybe the airdrop will never come, right? And that is going to be the thrill of the whole thing. So let's say this art drop that just happened, like what was that? So I know that people like VeVe, for example, from German community. By the way, nice meetup here in UK, I think. But that could be something where you could have an airdrop maybe in a year from now, right? So you already planned that airdrop with the artist of this stuff, right? And whoever likes that, they will hold it anyways, right? So then in a year from now, bam, there's the airdrop, just like that. And boom, you will have so many satisfied people, right? VeVe has done this before. For example, Flower Bomber can only be bought with paints. Why not just do it for OMI? A simple action which goes a long way for OMI. I 100% agree with you. Let's just actually post this, right? Add VeVe official. Actually, let's do it the other way around. I don't know this card. Let's go to I want to post, but not at VeVe. Wait a second. This card. Let's go to yeah, there we go. So hey, VeVe official, a couple of recommendations, or a couple of ideas from the community. We would like to see an OMI only drop. Could be via stacker, maybe even a drop sequence, for example 10,000 one-of-ones, similar collectibles but unique trades, and make airdrops secret. Don't announce them. People will collect and hold. There we go. Can I tag via at stacker? It's too long then. Wait a second. Make airdrop secret. No announce. That does the trick. There we go. Post. Go to my follow me on X. Hit the likes on this tweet. Retweet it. Whatever. Right. All the stuff. Yeah. Maybe that helps. Besides the larger topics, I would really love to see that. Okay. So yeah, anyways, guys, for today, that is it. Thank you for entering the discussion here. Smash up the like button for the live stream if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. Notifications on. And guys, wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I catch you in the next video or live stream. Have a good one and bye.